my boy's gonna fuck you. I rolled a 1. Okay. Oh, my name's Fox. I just got out of Five Nights at Bernie's. Actually, wait a minute. Five Nights at Bernie's. I got Roxy and I got Foxy. But I just got out of Five Nights at Freddy. They stole my family. It was like, I'm going to obviously talk about it more, but it was really good. I really liked it. Let me just make sure all this is still recording. Good. All right. So, anyways, I want to first look at this, and then we'll talk more about it. I didn't watch any of the trailers. I only saw one clip of the trailer, and it was Mike and like the new kind of spring trap, kind of spring lock suit. Not really. It's not a spring lock suit, but like it's a mask with like a bunch of blades and shit on it. Anyways, let's just watch this real quick because I want to see what the trailer looks like.
Hi, this is Mike. I was just calling to see if that job that you offered was still available.
Yes. The security guard.
I will take anything.
From Blue
This place was huge in the 80s with the kids.
Closed.
They shut it down years ago. The owner's just not ready to let it go yet.
I will work and you will sleep.
I understand.
Give me your hand.
Producer of Megan. I can kind of tell.
To do. Just keep your eyes on the monitor.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's, where fantasy and fun
Oh, I bet Mark was going to be that.
come to life.
Okay.
You must.
Some of the biggest twists in this movie revolve around this character.
Can I help you, officer?
Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Them.
Actually, I think about it, I don't think that song actually plays in this. Hey!
In the 80s, kids went missing.
Oof.
The police searched Freddy's top to bottom.
Hello?
They never found them. That's why the place shut down.
There are ghost children possessing giant robots. Thanks for the heads up.
Technically, they're animatronics.
When the night shift starts,
They want to make her
the fun begins.
like them.
Happy?
Nightmare begins.
stop them.
It's too late.
Bobby, go!
Oh, I'm so happy I didn't see this. Oh, I'm so happy I didn't see this. Oh my god, I'm so happy I didn't see any of the trailers.
Why do I always get the weirdos?
Okay, so again, also this is on PCAX so you can see it whenever, but this movie's really good. I recommend watching it in theater so that way we make sure we get a sequel. Because, by God, it is freaking great. And, like, I know, technically speaking, I think there's, like the guy who plays William Afton. Spoilers, go watch the movie if you haven't. So I'm going to kind of spoil this right now. But even then, like, the biggest twist isn't really even like that, but you can kind of guess who it is, but whatever. But, when William, like, the big twist of, like, oh, William Afton or whatever the hell, let me see. God. The big twist revolves more around the girl than it does who William is. But, by God, is this movie so free. And the funny thing is, because, like, I highly recommend, is it Willy's Wonderland? The Nicolas Cage movie, which is pretty much a Five Nights at Freddy's movie itself. But both movies, like the Nicolas Cage one, I'd say like this one is like really big, scary too. This is more like a quote unquote kids scary film, but in a sense of it's way scarier than, let's say, the Haunted Mansion movie that just came out for Disney. But also, like, and obviously there's actually actual kills that happen in this one, but obviously, like, you're not gonna see a bunch of blood and gore, which honestly it doesn't need. I don't think this movie actually needed that, but this movie knows how to have like, I'd say this movie has some really good tense scenes or some like, whoa, shit, like moments. Oh shit, my headphones just get disconnected. I think she's still recording. Yeah, okay. But yeah, like there's like you're like, what the hell? Like kind of moments are like shit. It's like legitimately this is a really fun movie, and there's like a bunch of there's some twists that I didn't expect. Like one, I didn't not watching the trailers or anything. I didn't know if Springtrap was gonna be in this. But when he pops up, it's like, oh shit! Like he is menacing when he pops up on screen, and like that's also why because people were complaining, but we're like, why are the animatronics eyes red? It's because they were gonna keep it for William in the Springtrap suit because by God does he not look badass with those eyes. That being said too, I want to say the Nicolas Cage one versus this one where. There are some scenes in here where they are pretty funny, and there's even points where it's Mike goes, so the robots are possessed by children, and then the sister goes, yeah, how else would they be doing this? It's all right. It knows kind of its material. It knows yeah, it's kind of silly. But it just runs with why the hell not? There are some bits where you're this is where they're gonna kill a shit ton of people. But again, where the Nicolas Cage one, I never was watching oh, this is a horror film. It was more yeah, Nicolas Cage fighting from friggin' animatronics. Hell yeah, it's kind of funny. This one has funny moments, a point where, and this has funny moments, but then also some really tense moments. There's a scene where the animatronics kind of play nice with Mike's sister, and they all kind of play together and stuff like that. But then, immediately that kind of switches really quickly. That immediately switches kind of quickly, in the next night, where, shit kind of goes sideways. You're oh, shit. And then there's stuff about, and, I think they even kind of hint that, it's, something about the sound discontrolling the animatronics. But then also there's something about this girl, which I didn't expect. Spoilers for this movie. Again, go watch it. Spoilers. That's Vanessa. Which I was like, what? She's like, hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, all right, this is, Five Nights at Freddy's, which is kind of its own, let's say, for example, if we're going all this is in the same universe, and the games are it says in FNAF VR, that all the games are based off of the actual events, but are, there are some liberties taken. Let's say the movies are the quote-unquote canon what happened. Let's just say that. Every other media is fake. Let's say the movie is what's canon. Okay, then Vanessa apparently was a cop beforehand, and, has certain connections. Oh shit. And, Mike actually knew her. And I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. And also kind of smart, too, because then it brings in the idea of that, you could have in, obviously, when VR had said, the games are actually just based off this or whatever, based off the tragedies. You could have fun with it and change some stuff around and move it. And it's actually really smart, again, like I was saying, when my brain got back to it. Vanessa being in this because it's all the people who were new from Security Breach, who kind of just came in as Security Breach, also now kind of have a in thing where it's not just, the first game, it's also the newer game kind of ties into this a bit. And you even have stuff with, you obviously see more stuff with William Afton, which it was spoiled for me who William Afton was because they pretty much said yeah, that's him in interviews and stuff like that. Yeah. But even then, he is done, he does it pretty well. And honestly, it says better William Afton than the comic book version. Comic book version is just kind of This, I can believe, would be William Afton, honestly. And it's, it's really good. And, they play around with some things. One, this looks like a pizzeria, Chuck E. Cheese kind of place, which is kind of great. like you can kind of see like, you know, obviously that they're kids piloting the robots or the animatronics, which is cool. Like I love stuff like this, like the stained glass like of them, the drawings that are still up, even though they probably should be a little bit more degraded. Oh, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of YouTubers there. Also, I bet Markiplier was gonna be this girl. I think, or is she a YouTuber too? She probably is. I'm sorry if I don't. I don't know all the FNAF YouTubers. All I really know is Matt Pax of Series and obviously the King of Five Nights at Freddy's, who couldn't be in this one. But since there's apparently going to be 2 more sequels, there's plenty of time to get him in the second one. Unless he filmed Iron Lung 2 at the time. But this movie is really fun. It does go through 5 nights. 5 different nights that he's there, which this man, like, because there's a cool thing, and it kind of sets it up where, like, his brother got kidnapped at one point when he was supposed to watch him, and that's kind of something that's haunting him. He's trying to relive those memories by going to sleep, and when he goes to sleep at Freddy's, like, he sees these 5 kids. It took me a minute to realize that the one lead kid wasn't Freddy, but was Golden Freddy. I was like, oh, shit. But my sister had to point out, I'm like, oh, shit. But, like, I'm not even spoiled like that, not even though I spoiled some stuff, but, like, legitimately, like, oh, God, I keep leaving come back. But it's legitimately a good movie, and it has some really funny moments. Again, the point where, like, the animatronics kind of play with his sister and, like, them together and stuff. It's, like, okay, they're kind of happy and stuff like that. But then, like, when that switch flips, it's like, oh, shit. But I'm like, that's kind of really good, because I love... That's like I love in Shaman King, where like the main bad guy at one point kind of, you know, gets in the hot spring with like the main cast, and like, yeah, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna become God, and like all this stuff. And it's like, it's a really good scene because I like the balance of like you can show a softer side, but then also like show like why this character is also evil, like learning more and stuff about them. And I kind of like what they did with the animatronics in this one. And the thing is, this movie never feels like it drags either. Like, you get set up for certain things. It kind of moves, like, quickly enough to, like, get to Freddy's. But, like, and, like, everything kind of makes sense. And there's a shit ton of references and stuff like that, too. But, like, it's really good. Like, even my sister was like, wait, isn't Mike supposed to be at Afton? And then, like, we find some stuff out about Vanessa here also. And it's legitimately good. And, like, again, like, I'm pretty sure there's reference stuff like the sound disc, because there's one point where music plays and it's a certain sound that makes the animatronics start moving around and, like, work and, like, are look like they're being controlled or whatever. Like, it's interesting, I guess. This movie is just fun. Like, legitimate. Like, I don't even make it too long, this video too long. Maybe I'll go more in depth later. But all the characters are good. Mike's good. His sister does a really good job too. Vanessa. Like, all the actors do extremely well. The guy who plays William, Shaggy. Everything kind of leading up. But yeah, like, these are like the... No, not them. Like,
Children possessing giant robots.
Yeah, the five kids. So you have Freddy. Chica's running that way. You have Bonnie, and then you have, I guess, Cassidy. You have the, Golden Freddy. Which, I think, isn't that Cassidy's the one who trains the Mimic, I think? I can't remember. But yeah, like, and the question is, too, like, even at the end, spoilers, I guess, there's kind of a, there's, at the end, if he lives at the end, there's something spells out, come find me. Which people are wondering, like, what it means. And I think, because we know that his brother gets taken, and you can kind of guess probably who by who, but we never see like where his soul went. So it's a question like it's set up you could put for the next movie. But this movie like legitimately like this movie has legitimately funny moments and legitimately like threatening moments, stuff like that. The Nicolas Cage one, though I love that one because it is really funny. It's just seeing Nicolas Cage beat the shit out of some animatronics. That's a movie where like it's not really a horror film. It's more of it's the most cliched kind of horror film, but also like it's kind of just fun watching Nicolas Cage beat the shit out of animatronics. This, it feels like a horror film. These animatronics feel threatening, and also the suits are amazing for all of them. Like legitimately, like they look really good. And it's like, yeah, this is probably the best way you could have done this with these animatronics, giving them as suits. They recreate stuff like the scenes off of the camera, stuff like that. It's legitimately good. Like I recommend this movie. It's really good, and it's got like a 30% with critics. Which, yeah, no shit. But it has like 88% with like audiences, which we saw this in IMAX, and like it was like a packed house, and like people came dressed up. One came with like the Freddy thing. We all came. A bunch of me and my sisters came each with like different plushies, and like a bunch of other people did too. People get dressed up and stuff like that. And this is like the second night. This is the 28th. It came out the 27th, probably the 26th. So, and it's on Peacock too, but people decided to go watch this in theaters. Like, hell yeah. Like, this movie is great. I highly recommend this. This is a really good horror. This is a really good, like, horror film. Like, you don't need all the slasher. You don't need all the blood and gore. Yeah, it would have been kind of cool to see that, but it's still cool if there's some funny moment, like legit, like funny moments just because of certain things of like how certain characters are killed. And I feel like it's meant to be funny in certain sense. It's not like, oh, it's funny because like, you know, it's so stupid. Like, no, it's like legitimately there's some funny bits to it, I think. It's, yeah, but I don't know. I guess it'd be like a slasher film, stuff like that. But yeah, it's legitimately good. I highly recommend it. I definitely say go check it out. And like again, like probably my favorite scene, and probably one of my favorite animatronics, other than like let's say Roxy and Foxy, is probably Springtrap, because Springtrap is just it's a badass idea, and it's really cool. And honestly, because also here's the thing too, assuming we know by the games now, also lore wise, let's say the games are, you know, like each game will have its own movie or whatever. We now know from this, spoilers, Sister Location takes place after this, because as far as we know, this is Mike Schmidt, who will eventually will go to Sister Location and eventually be scooped. So there's that, because we also have Vanny will eventually visit. We know Vanny will eventually visit will eventually become the security guard in Security Breach. Which I guess, in speaking Sister Location, the building could be from before, but this Sister Location would have to be after the first game, but before Security Breach. I'm not sure. Matt, I can figure that shit out. I'm just gonna be excited to see those videos soon. Which, yeah, if Matt pops up in videos, yeah, you know, it's just a theory at one point. It's like, god damn it. But it's great, and I can't wait to see where Marcus is going to be in the next movies, because I'm sure he's going to pop up in those. But yeah, this movie's great. I highly recommend it. The suits look amazing. When Springtrap pops up, you're like, oh shit. It's really good. And they hint at a bunch of stuff for later movies. I think this is legit a good introduction to the movie version of this stuff, and I think it's really great. But tell me what you think in the comments below if you've seen it. Tell me what you guys think. I thought it's really fun. But thanks for watching my videos. Hope you enjoyed this quick little video. My head hurts. I'm going to go to sleep now. And we will see you later.